Good evening and welcome back. I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel and thank you for the continued support of the past subscribers to the channel. And I'd like to say thank you for just stopping by, tuning in and checking out the video, and hope you'll watch till the end. Well, we've been working on smalls for the Farmall M, and as always, there's that inevitable bump in the road. So what I'm going to do today is rebuild the hydraulic lift cylinder on the back of the Super C #2. I've already disassembled it, but anyway, this was the problem. This top seal was leaking, and it had been leaking since I've had it, but now it's, winter time, so let's rebuild it. And I need to get it out of the paint room so we can get the Farmall M in the paint room and paint the axles black. So I'm going to move the camera around and we're going to get started. All right, well, I have pretty much cleaned everything, got it ready to go. So let's begin. Just slide the O-rings on. And I do have some air tool oil to to put a little lube on the O-rings before I put the cylinder shaft in. Okay, this is the top plate of the cylinder. Big O-ring goes inside of here. There's a seat for it. There we go. Sometimes they want to be a little difficult. And you want to make sure that you put your O-rings in straight. You don't want them to roll or twist. However you want to say it. Okay, the O-ring is in. The next thing is going to be the oil seal. That'll work there. Okay, seal is in. All right, the pressure relief valve goes right here. So these slide together like so, and then this will go in here. And then we have the little clamp right here to hold that down. And that's held down by 2/4 20 bolts. So we'll get to that in a minute. Well, actually, I tell you what, let's go ahead and put it in now, get that squared away. And, oops, too much. Okay, so that's in. Okay, we are seated. Put our little clamp or a little plate on here. And like I said, it's just 2/4 20s that hold this into position. All right, and we'll tighten those up. Those are just finger tight. Okay. The next thing is to slide the main cylinder shaft through there. So take just a little bit of air tool oil and put it on that O-ring that's in here. Slide this through. Sure is tight. There we go. And all right. So that's together. I'm going to have to make sure that before I put this on permanently, I'm going to have to walk over there and look at the tractor to make sure that my release pin is on the right side. So, but I don't think it matters, because the pin that actually goes through there has 2 grooves cut in it for that to work. Okay, O-ring goes on here. Then you have a plunge cut here on this head of the piston, and that will slide on like that. Then the nut here. While I was over there, I got the 7/16 as well and a pair of cutters, and we are set. All right, put the nut back on. All right, the hole, I need to turn it just a little more. Flip it around. That's loosening. All right, I'll do it back the other way. Let's see, where is it? Okay, we got enough. We should be straight to get through without any problems. Yep, we're good. All right, so let's go ahead and get this set. All right. Okay, now next thing to go on is the O-ring here. All right, we are going to lube this O-ring and this O-ring, and we're going to put the sleeve of the cylinder on here, and then we're going to rebuild the bottom half, which is pretty simple. And then we'll be ready to button it up and put it on the tractor. All right. I'll take the sleeve, slide on. Okay, I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a little oil in here. Try and lube just a little bit more, make it a little easier. I tell you what, I'm going to put this in the vise. All right, I got my vise installed today, believe it or not, and let's go and put this thing in the vise and get her going. How do I want to do this? There we go, that'll hold it. Tell you what, it just paid for itself. All these years of fighting with stuff like this, and it just paid for itself. Okay, now, I'm just gonna leave it right here in the vise, and we're gonna, well, I'll move it back over to the table and we'll finish it up. The next to the last things to do is stop making a mess on my table. All right, the bottom half of the cylinder. I have an O-ring that goes here, which is this. Okay, and we're gonna slide this back up so it went in too far. There we go. All right, got that together. We'll use this one. All right, we're gonna put a little oil on here as well. All right, that'll be ready to go. And one of the last things to do is, this is the tube that sends fluid to the bottom of the piston and raises the lift. And like I said, we'll put a little oil on here. That's gonna slide into here. Right there, and then slide the back half of this thing on, and this slides into here. All right, my bolt is started. Started there, and we're gonna start the other one. Turn it up on the side and start this one. All right, now, oops, let's get this in there. Star washer. Where am I at? Here I am. And then the last one. And I didn't think to grab the wrench for this. So I'm going to step over there and grab the wrench for this. And then I'll be back and we'll get it tightened up, get everything straight, and then we'll be ready to put it on the tractor. All right, let me get a wrench for this and I'll be right back. Try and tighten them evenly. All right, I've got it back on the tractor. I've got the lines hooked up. I put about a quart of oil in it, and everyone knows that the seals on these pumps go bad. So I use just 30 weight oil, the same oil that I use in the motor. Okay. Like I said, everything's ready to go. Let's fire it up and see what happens. It will get a little loud, so please forgive the noise. That's it. I always run my tractors out of gas, but I believe all the air is out of it. I'll check my oil level here in just a moment. But anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I really appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time. Each time I put a video out, it means a lot. And the next video we will be doing, we want to pull the centers off the Farmall M, bring it back over to the paint room, get those axles painted, and we're going to go from there. So as always, thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time on Old Red Tractors.